So I've been wondering, what happens in Realm of Thrones if the Night King won the Battle of Winterfell? What if he made it past the wall, Winterfell, and his army made it even further south? I wanted to find this out after a handful of different playthroughs that I had with the somewhat recent Realm of Thrones update, but I always decided to help Westeros defend itself if I was able to defeat the Night King and his army of the undead. Because I obviously don't want him to win, because then everyone would either be killed or turned into a White Walker or whatever, and why would anyone want that? Unless you're playing as a White Walker, of course. But I have been curious about a couple of things, whether they can even make their way to the surrounding islands, is it even possible for them to travel to Essos, are the Iron Islands and Dragonstone safe from the Night King? Well, today we're going to answer all of these pointless questions that'll finally put my mind at ease. A quick recap for those of you who don't know. In the brand new Realm of Thrones update 6.0, the Night King now has his own faction, now rather than just hiding out, not hideout. See what I did there? And whenever he wins a battle, his number of troops in his party just automatically grows. And then on day 500, he will take control over the Fist of the First Men, which is when you can finally defeat him in battle and execute him. But you can only do this after day 500. So with that in mind, I wanted to experiment a little bit by simulating the game and letting everything play out and seeing if the AI could actually defeat him on their own, and potentially even see if ongoing battles between kingdoms would pause so they can turn their attention to the Night King, or would they just pay them no attention and be killed anyway. And it's starting our first experiment just so everyone knows we don't have any other mods installed, and all we want to do is be a itty bitty fly on the wall just to see what happens. And just to be extra sure we don't have any impact at all in any events, we'll be sitting ourselves right here on this little island, and I will see you when something actually happens. So now that the Night King has control over the Fist of the First Men, he should then start raiding villages and sieging castles until he controls everything north of the wall. Normally it doesn't take too long for him to take over everything, which is why it's always great to focus on the Night King early on if you're trying to stop him before he gets too powerful. But then he'll make his way to Hardhome and then the wall and continue on southward. So as you can see, the Night King and the White Walkers have taken over most of the north of the wall, with the exception of Hardhome over here. I wanted to check out and see if there was any persons of interest that they've taken over, like any White Walkers or anything of such. And at first look, I don't see any names that stand out to me that I know. If I'm missing any, let me know down in the comments. It kind of makes it difficult to tell because I haven't actually met any of these characters, so it's not showing their faces. But this just shows how many lords and heroes that they've already turned into White Walkers. We're currently in the year 304, so it's taken about 3 years just to get to this point. But they'll go after Hardhome next, and then to the wall, and then they'll make their way southward. So I wanted to stop here again. We're in the year 305, and they're just now sieging Hardhome for the very first time. I wanted to check real quick and see what the others' clan strength was at the moment. So they're at 25,700, and just to give us some context, we'll go and see what like the Lannisters are, and right now they are at 1,800. So that is a major difference. I have a hard time believing that even a collective of Westeros is going to be able to stop them. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll keep fast forwarding, see what happens. And hopefully it doesn't take them too much longer to make their way to the wall. And right after I paused it, they finally took control over Hardhome. And with that, they have full control over everything north of the wall. And they will finally head towards the wall next. And right after I paused again, they finally are sieging the wall just to check and see what the battle looks like. They have 2,500, 1,800, and 2,700. And the defenders, they only have about 600 troops. So I think the wall is going to fall pretty quickly. So I have been watching them for a while now, and they have completely steamrolled to the north so far. I mean, they took all of these almost instantaneously with just a few days apart. I wanted to check and look and see if there's any more heroes that we might recognize that turn into White Walkers. But I am noticing a lot more heroes that they've turned into White Walkers. They're only growing stronger, and checking their clan streak, they're at 34,000 now. I'm going to have a hard time believing that Westeros is going to be able to stop them, as they're already down to Deepwood Mont. I'm assuming they're going to go for Dreadfort and Cardhold next, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. And unpausing again, they finally took control over Dreadfort and Cardhold. We're in the year 306 now, and just checking out, the Night King is officially sieging Winterfell. He has over 3,000 troops against Winterfell's mere 700 to 800. They're definitely going to fall here soon, and yep, there they go, and Winterfell has officially fallen, and the Night King's army continues to grow. So I've been simulating for a while, and the White Walkers, I think, have finally made their way to King's Landing. Yep. So this is one of the smallest armies we've seen, but it's still at almost 4,000 troops against around 1,300. I guess we'll have to wait and see if King's Landing holds up or if they'll attack again soon. Let's check and see what the clan strength is now. So they're at 78,000, and we're in the year 309. It's getting kind of out of hand. Again, I think this is the same amount of White Walkers that we've seen. This might be a cap. I'm not too totally sure. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 49 heroes, including the Night King. So that is absolutely insane. So about 50, I guess, is the max that you can have in a clan. But they have taken over completely. The Vale is completely taken over. They've now taken Riverrun, Harrenhal, Duskendale. I'm assuming the rest is coming soon. Oh, wow. They've already taken the Case and the Crag. Looks like they're taking, 4,000 troops against 100. I don't think Baneford's going to be alive much longer. But as you can see, they have made a lot of progress, and I'm assuming the rest of Westeros is going to be joining them here soon. So again, stopping here, it looks like the Night King and the White Walkers have just focused on major locations. As you can see, they got King's Landing, Stony Sept, Lannisport, Highgarden, Ashford, and Storm's End. It looks like they've just kind of left alone the little stuff. I'm sure a lot of those will be joining here soon. Taking a look again, we are at 101,000 clan strength. Absolutely insane. Again, we still have 50 members, a part of the White Walker group. I'm not seeing any new names, but they have been making some serious progress so far. As you can see, they own all of Westeros except for Dorne, and I'm sure they'll be joining them here soon. But I think this will be the last time that we stop. I will see y'all when the White Walkers have officially taken over the entire continent of Westeros. So I know I said that was going to be the last time that we were going to stop before all of Westeros is taken, but as you can see, we're in the year 323, and I've been simulating for a very long time, probably over an hour in real life, and they still have yet to take Westeros. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot quicker a process. As you can see, they still haven't taken any of this, and most of Dorne is still completely safe. I mean, they've taken the major cities, but it looks like they're just ignoring the small castles. They lost Weeping Town. I don't know if they're spreading themselves too thin or what's going on. They still have Gold Town still alive. It looks like they're just skipping over a specific few towns. Like I said, Shadow Tower is still alive and well. I will keep simulating for a while, and then we will see what happens. I'll probably, like I said, I really thought that this was going to be a faster process, as they took everything fairly quickly, and then it just kind of halted down here. So I don't know if it has to do something with the desert or what. I don't really think it would have anything to do with the desert, as Sunspear and Planktown are completely, they have completely taken those over. So not too totally sure, but I will see you in the end. And we are back. We're in the year 340, which means that I've been simulating for about 40 years in total now. And checking here, I've been sitting here watching the Night King and the White Walkers just lose Weeping Town and Tumbleton over and over again. They seem to be kind of stuck in this area. As you can see, Dorne is completely fine. If we zoom in here, all the castles and towns have not been taken over. These over here by Lannisport have still yet to be taken as well, as they seem to be not paying them any attention whatsoever. And I wanted to check out a couple of things. Looking at the others, the clan strength, they're at 236,297. Absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like that before. And looking at the clan members, we're still stuck at 50. Again, I'm not seeing any names that jump out to me just yet. Now, there is still a couple of castles that they haven't taken, like Shadow's Tower is still here alive and well. I don't know if that's a bug or something that the devs need to check out, but all of the islands seem to be just fine. So Mormon Keep, Driftwood Hall, the Iron Islands, Dragonstone, they're all still completely fine. So in your playthrough, if you're part of the Iron Islands, you should be completely fine from the White Walkers, and maybe even Dorne, you're completely fine. And just what I expected, Essos and the Summer Isles are still completely fine from the Night King and the White Walkers. And taking a look at some of the heroes, mind you, we are 40 years in the future, and most of the heroes I checked said that they had died of natural causes. I was really trying to find some of the heroes that had been killed by the Night King or White Walkers, but unfortunately it just says that they had died in battle, so you can't really see whether or not the Night King was the cause or not. Everyone we know and love has either died or is like Daenerys right here and is about to kick the bucket. I was kind of shocked of this outcome though, and that the Night King wasn't able to take all of Westeros and they kind of got stuck here down at Dorne. But let me know down in the comments if you expected anything different and what you would like the devs to maybe add to the Long Night event. And don't forget to hit that like bell and subscribe button down below, and if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy this one right here where we talk about the future of Bannerlord modding. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.